A popular Filipino actor, was convicted in 1994 for illegal possession of firearms. Authorities found him in possession of high-powered firearms including an M16 rifle and 357 Magnum revolver without necessary permit. He was sentenced maximum of 21 years in prison but serves only portion of his sentence due to good behavior and a conditional pardon granted in 1997 by then President Benil B. Ramos. In 2016, Rodrigo Duterte granted him absolute pardon, fully restoring his civil and political rights, including the ability to travel abroad and work internationally. This Clemency effectively cleared his criminal record.
In the case of Joseph Scott Pemberton, the court convicted him of homicide for the killing of Jennifer Lowney in 2014. The court found that Pemberton had deliberately attacked Lowney after learning she was a transgender, resulting in her death by asphyxiation. Although Pemberton claimed he acted in self-defense, arguing he was enraged upon discovering Lowney's gender, the court ruled that his actions were excessive and not justifiable under self-defense law. Pemberton was sentenced to 6 to 12 years in prison for homicide, not murder, due to the lack of evidence of Pemberton. Despite this conviction, Pemberton's sentence was shortened due to the good behavior and a highly controversial absolute pardon granted by President Rodrigo Duterte in 2020. Critics and Lowney's family expressed anger, arguing that the pardon undermined justice in the legal process.
Humito Tameras Jr., a former governor of Antique province in the Philippines, was convicted of graft in 2008 by the Bayan. The case stems from a 1997 transaction in which Tameras approved a 5.67 million pesos contract for school business and artisans without public buying. Payments were made before the full delivery of items, many of which were effective. The court found him guilty of granting unwarranted benefits to a contractor and causing undue injury to the provincial government. He was sentenced to 6 to 10 years of imprisonment and ordered to repay 2.65 million pesos to the provincial government. President Rodrigo Duterte granted executive clemency to Tameras in December 2016 through his age, health conditions, and his agreement to settle the required payment. Tameras had been under house arrest since 2015 due to stroke and other health issues before receiving the pardon.
On September 12, 2007, the Sandigan Bayan convicted former President Estrada, a former President of the Philippines, for the crime of plunder in criminal case number 26508, entitled People of the Philippines versus Joseph Estrada. Wherefore, in view of all the foregoing, judgment is hereby rendered in criminal case number 26508, finding the accused, former President Joseph Estrada, guilty beyond reasonable doubt of the crime of plunder. Defined in and penalized by Republic Act No. 7080 as amended, Joseph Estrada is being convicted of plunder by the Sandigan Bayan, with a penalty imposed of reclusion perpetua. But in October 25, 2007, the former president was being granted of an executive clemency, which is the pardon, under the administration of President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, whereas this administration has a policy of releasing inmates who have been in the age of 70.
Antonio Trillanes IV, Danilo Lim, and Renato Miranda were convicted in the Philippines for their involvement in military uprising against the government of then-President Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo. Trillanes was a leader of the 2003 Oakwood Mutiny, where junior officers and soldiers occupied a Makati hotel to protest alleged corruption and abuses in the Arroyo administration. He was charged with coup d'etat and detained for several years. Lim, a brigadier general, was implicated in both the Oakwood Mutiny and the 2007 Manila Peninsula siege, where soldiers walked out of their trial and seized a Makati hotel to demand Arroyo's resignation. He was charged with rebellion. Miranda, a retired Marine general, was involved in the 2006 Marine standoff, where he and other officers protested alleged electoral fraud by Arroyo, leading to charges of mutiny. Despite their convictions, all three were granted amnesty in 2010 by President Benigno Aquino III, which allowed them to resume public service or retire from military duties. Their actions remain symbolic of resistance against perceived government corruption during